Even though Nova Scotia is a much safer place to work than it was 10 years ago, and our workers' compensation claims have declined 18% in those same 10 years, statistics prove, and we've heard tonight lots of scary and sobering statistics, that we still have a very unacceptably high rate of workplace injury in Nova Scotia. Every day, more than 24 Nova Scotians are injured, and every month someone dies on the job. Last year, as we've already heard tonight, there were 19 work-related fatalities in Nova Scotia, and so far this year there have been 5 people who've died on the job. We're here tonight because we understand that more needs to be done to reduce the human and economic toll of workplace injuries, and to share our ideas about how we can work safer. I spent most of last year as a safety advisor and safety lead in Alberta in the oil sands. I was at a site about 30 minutes north of Fort Mac at the Mildred Lake Mine Replacement Project, a project owned by Syncrude. My main duties there were advising tradespeople on safe work practices, doing field inspections and incident investigations. Now, I know you will agree that depending on your perspective, there's a variety of opinions out there on the oil sands. But there are a few things that we can say for certain. 43,000 people migrated to Alberta in 2013. 5,000 from Nova Scotia. I'm sure that has to be more, because I'm sure I met more than 5,000 Cape Bretoners when I was out there. It's estimated that in the next 10 years, the labor force in the oil sands alone will exceed 35,000 people. There's also another very true key element about the oil sands. Injury accidents have decreased in the oil sands by nearly 15% in the last 5 years. So there's no doubt that big oil, until recently with the drop in oil prices, has driven our economy, but they also set the standards for working safe. I've investigated dozens of incidents involving everything from property damage when AWPs come in contact with things they shouldn't, to crush injuries, strain injuries, falls, environmental spills, a variety of first aids, and a host of near misses that involved everything from dropped objects to bear encounters. And although each incident has its own set of circumstances and behaviors and conditions, it became pretty apparent very quickly that there's often one or two very common denominators. And those are the 2 things that I'd like to share with you tonight, and I'm hoping you'll take those away and think about them a little bit. Firstly, quite often, an injured worker was either new to the trade or new to the site. Statistics tell us that young workers and new workers are 5 times more likely to get injured on the job in the first 30 days of work than someone who's been on the job for more than a year. 15 years ago, in February, Jamie Lapierre died on the job in the hold of a barge right here in Port Hawkesbury. Jamie was a young worker. He was new to his job, and he was only 21. When it comes to safety, ignorance is not bliss. Jamie died because of what he didn't know. The second element I noticed involved hazard assessment. This is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and it's something that we can't do without on any workplace if we want to keep people safe. As you all know, a hazard is anything that can hurt you or make you ill. A field level hazard assessment is a critical accident prevention tool that works by helping workers to identify and eliminate or control the hazards that are present in the job that they're going to do. Field level hazard assessments are mandatory at all oil sands projects and are becoming more and more common throughout Nova Scotia. I'm sure that there are many people in this room who are familiar with them. For those of you who have never completed a field level hazard assessment, it involves not just looking at what is wrong at the time, but what could go wrong given the work to be undertaken, the equipment that's being used, the process involved in doing that task, and the environment where it's taking place. The field level hazard assessment is considered a legal document. It's one of the first things we look for in an investigation to determine if the worker has actually identified the hazards associated with their job and have tried to control them to the best of their ability. That document is to be kept on the worker all day and updated as their tasks change and as conditions change. As you can imagine, and as most of you know, things can change on a dime. Especially when you're working on a large project with hundreds of other people, a multitude of trades, congestion, and of course the pressure of deadlines. Investigations often found that incomplete field level hazard assessments were involved in incidents. Workers either didn't take the time to complete the field level hazard assessment to the degree that they should have, and they missed a potential hazard, putting themselves and the people who work around them at risk, or they didn't update their field level hazard assessment throughout the day as new tasks were given to them or as conditions changed. We found that time and time again. When we investigate, we essentially look backwards. And we often can see when we look backwards, things are in perfect clarity. Hindsight, as they say, is 20/20. But hindsight won't replace the 3 fingers that are severed on average every month in Nova Scotia, or the 200+ back injuries that are sustained every month. Hindsight won't correct eye injuries that happen in Canada, 700 every day. And hindsight will do nothing to ease the pain and burden the burden experienced by families of injured workers, and hindsight certainly won't bring back people like Jamie LaPierre, or the 10,000 workers who've lost their lives on the job in Canada since Westray. Anything that is foreseeable is preventable, and that's critical. To be able to predict hazards, foresee the possibility of incidents, it has nothing to do with common sense or good luck. It has to do with competence. And as a safety advisor, it's my job to use repetition and reinforcement to continually, constantly, every day remind the people who I am providing safety advice to that they need to acquire good sense through experience, education, and safety training. I work safe because I'm a single mom with 2 boys. They depend on me. I also work safe to set an example in my workplace. So as we remember tonight and we reflect, we must refuse to accept the idea that workplace injuries are just a price of working every day. Turning a blind eye to risks and hoping that nothing will go wrong just doesn't cut it. Each of us has a role to play in taking care of things before they become an injury. Prevention, rather than reaction, can save lives. Thank you and stay safe.